Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk a little bit about not so much people I wrote biographies on, but just kind of the surrounding family because we kind of work more as a cluster rather than individuals. So this is my immediate family. So Mom, my dad, my two siblings. My brother's hair is weird because he lost a bet with his hockey teammates. That's all that is. It's our dog Lulu, next to him another dog, Cooper, golden retriever. My parents, they've been married for 28 years now. They love each other very much, though they're very, very different people, which happen to create the perfect human. I'll explain. My dad is the biggest personality in every room, life of the party, hilarious, loves music. In fact, he still has his band from college, and they play, to our pleasure, in the house at midnight. My mom, on the other hand, is really quiet and reserved and would rather just do one-on-one sessions, and it's my dad laughing and my mom going, "Thomas, kids are sleeping, stop." So I can really be either or depending on the situation, which is nice. Kind of a fun fact, my dad and I share a birthday. I was born on his birthday, so that's a picture of us having a birthday. Neither of us like cake, so ice cream it is. My siblings, so this is my brother Mitchell and my sister Delaney. My brother is a year younger than me, and my sister is just about to graduate high school. Because my family and I don't communicate super well, I talked to my mom on the phone for probably an hour 2 days ago, and then I spoke to my Oma for about 2 minutes on Mother's Day, and she was like, "Did you know your brother's going to Michigan State?" I did not. "Did you know your sister's going to Central?" No. "Thank you for letting me know." So I'm really excited for them to go to college. My brother actually played hockey in the minors for 2 years, so he was in New Jersey and stuff, and he was like, I don't love it, but I know it better than anything, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. And he finally came back home. He has this really nice girlfriend, and he finally found something worth studying, kind of. It's a bummer because the cousin that's his age, who just graduated from Michigan State, would have been cute if they could room together, but hey. So my siblings, my brother and I, we're very much the same people. This is Christmas Day, by the way. We're waiting for my sister to come downstairs because she's just taking too long. And my cat, Lightning, what's up? So my brother and I both really like video games. We have a lot in common. We're a year and a half apart in age. So we're best friends from the beginning. We don't talk ever, but when we do, it's real quick and we know what we mean. So that's what matters. It's always nice to come home and talk to him because it's really chill, no pressure. My sister, on the other hand, is high maintenance as heck. We just started getting along. She just fixed her attitude recently. We share a room. Our room is 2 times the size of this room though, so you'd think we'd have enough space to get along. Incorrect. She is becoming really sweet. She either wants to be a doctor or a model, so a lot of balls in the air there. I think she's pretty, but I'd like the doctor thing probably. So that's one of the few photos that we were actually getting along at the time, but for the most part it's fighting about nothing. And me and my brother would just kind of gang up on my sister because she's 3 or 4 years younger than us, so it's get out. On my dad's side, the Hall clan, it is, wow, tall people in the back. I'm the shortest sibling, which I don't think is fair. Diana, how you feeling? Oldest but the shortest? I don't know what that's about. So my dad's mom, right here, that's Lil, that's my Oma. That is her second husband, Martin, so the only grandpa I've ever known. My dad's father died in the 70s from a heart attack, so my dad spent a lot of his 30s thinking he was going to die the same way. He didn't. So, and then his sister, Sue, and her husband, Tim, they married probably 5 years ago now, and he's always been really cool, so it's a great addition to the family. Fun fact about my Oma is that I dated a guy 2 years ago, and we dated for 2 long years, and we broke up, and I told her, and she goes, "Oh, you broke up? I'm so sorry. I've got this architect I'd like you to meet." And I was also like coming to terms with the fact that like I had this huge crush on this girl, and my Oma happened to have had heart surgery, so I wasn't gonna like break it then, you know, like at the risk of her dying or something. So I had this weird way of telling her that I was like playing the field, and I had already met this person named Fallon, which is a super good gender neutral name, and I just called them they. Let her think what she wanted to think. She's super cool, but loves Fallon now. But whew, rough moment. So yeah, again, my Oma and her 2 kids. My dad and my aunt are quite a few years apart. My dad was 12 when his dad died, and my aunt was about 8. So my aunt kind of grew up like super black sheep. Like, I remember she had a motorcycle when I was a kid. She doesn't have anymore. She used to smoke as well, but that's her at their wedding. Very pretty. But they're both obnoxiously loud. Like, my mom, I interviewed my mom for this, and she was like, yeah, you know, like my family, we like drink on the weekends, and it was fun because I would go to like visit your dad at his family's house on the weekends, and that was all cool. And then we like got married, so I was like around during the week, and they drink then too, and that's fine. Everyone gets to live their best life, I guess. So they've always been really rowdy. Now, my mom's side of the family is much bigger. My mom has 6 other siblings. So we've got Pat, who's related to Laura in the back there. They're twins. We got John, Jim, Tamara, Rob, and then of course my mom Tekla. So wherever they got that name, great, love it. They're all very tight-knit now. My dad's like super kind of like, they're all like Catholic is a big religion in my family, to the extent where like my grandma and my Aunt Tamara, like my Aunt Tamara's a Catholic school teacher, but then like you have my Uncle Jim, who's like, what if my kids believe in God? How do I tell them that I think that's dumb? Like, so it's kind of like polar opposites at the table, but they are all like really reserved. And like I said, we work really well as like a cohesive unit, but we're not like that emotionally close to one another, and I'm super fine with that. I kind of wish we were, but it's a very strong family unit, so it's kind of funny that my dad is the loudest one in the room at all times. Over here are most of my cousins, not all of them on that side of the family. We go on this thing called the Rosico family trip every summer, and we go to a lake in Michigan, doesn't matter, take your pick. We rent a house, there's like 36 of us in a house, because like everyone's almost married now and has kids. So we get noise complaints and kicked out, and not invited back next year, so we just find another lake to ruin. So one of our activities is we play volleyball as a big family. It's really fun, but also like everyone's really competitive. Like he broke his toe that year. This is Claire, we call her the glass cannon because she's not good, but she doesn't know that glass cannon is a bad thing yet, so I guess we're just doing it. He's really competitive. He actually had a heart attack and his doctor had to tell him to calm down, so he's like, we have this really young boy, his name's Vincent over here. He's rude, and my uncle John has to walk away often, like, because he would used to just like yell. He was the uncle that would yell as a kid, and now he just has to be like, someone else's problem, like, because he will die. Some of the cousins I'm really close to. This is my cousin Drew. He's a couple years older than me, just like 2, so like side by sides. I am the oldest granddaughter in the family, and the third oldest cousin, so, you know, we're the OGs, and we've always been really close. He was kind of the first one that I talked about, like, coming out to my family, because I didn't want to, like, come out. I just wanted to be like, hey, hope that's cool. And I was just like, oops. I was just like, hey, do you think they'd react well? And he's like, yeah, for sure. Nice. Love that. Then we have this little boy, Ryan. Ryan is now 8. He is one of my favorites. I really love kids. So we bonded like super instantly. He's my Aunt Tamara's son, so he's a really good Catholic little boy. He's very sheltered though, like he got invited to a birthday party to watch Moana, and my aunt was like, you know, did something sad happen in Moana? And they're like, I mean, the grandmother dies, but like they do it in a really good way. And she goes, well, his grandparents are old, so we're just gonna wait on that. So he's like not experienced like real emotions. So like we'll see how that goes. But he's very different. He's getting made fun of by my other guy cousins because there's a lot of them. Because he liked pink, and I was like, oh, I'll protect you. And then the two girls over there are Zoe and Claire. They're very special. Claire's the glass cannon one, so really low self-esteem in sporting events. We played Magic the Gathering at these things, and she always cries, even though she's one of the better players. But they're really special because they were the first girl cousins that I had. Like I had my sister, but then all the rest were dudes, and there were like 6 of them, and I got sick of it. And like, it's kind of a bummer because Zoe is finally at that age where I can like do girl talk with her, but I'm not in Michigan to do girl talk with her, so I just text her sometimes. And then there's my grandmother, my mom's mom. She is super Catholic, believes atheists have the devil inside them, as she's told me, but she loves me anyways, so that's what really counts. She's very accepting. One of the things that I will probably appreciate when I'm older, but I don't agree with right now, is that you can find a reason to love someone. For example, I don't like my aunt's husband. I don't think he's nice enough to her in a couple different ways. I'm not gonna go there though. But I'd be like, Grandma, like how can you like stand by and kind of like support this relationship? And she's like, well, she loves him, so I'm sure I can find a reason to love him. And that's a really sweet sentiment, I guess. Her husband, my grandpa, he passed away when I was 5, and I actually remember 2 things. I remember the day he died really, really well because it was he died Halloween night, and I was told the next morning, and it was like my first Halloween in a new town, so it was kind of a huge experience. And then I also remember him sitting on his lap all the time and making me say the word remarkable, because for some reason I could say that one word as like a little kid. He thought it was just the coolest thing, and I was his first granddaughter, and like da 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 da. So it's really special, and I'm kind of really bummed. He died from a bone marrow cancer. I don't know exactly what it was called. So he was kind of like, he had it like before I was born type of deal, and it was like a surprise that he made it as long as he did. He even made it to their 50th wedding anniversary and then passed away shortly after. So it's very, very cute. I really appreciate my family. It's hard being 4 hours away because they all live in Michigan, and like we're one of those families that's like, oh, it's her birthday, I guess we're all going to her birthday, even though that's like 30 of us. So it kind of sucks that like, I had to leave my community, come here, make a new community, and now I'm expected to leave that too. So I'm kind of in this really weird transitional period, but you know, it's nice to have them, and I hope they all do good things. Thank you, everyone.